When you found time to do this shit when you was on the street?
All the niggas that been locked down, welcome home, niggas.
Out there hustling, cracking shit, man.
Feel good to be back out this motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
But shit is definitely ugly, though.
Yeah, all my niggas out in Northern State, the Well, Broadway.
It's
Let's
2006,
go.
shit officially out of control. Try and eat, but the streets will swallow you whole. Go to the belly when you 20, get out when you old. Get bodied by somebody you probably know. It's kill or be killed, my life on the line. That's why I'm on the grind early in the morning time. No shorts, no change, make the fiends form a line. Nobody got big dimes that's more raw than mine. Sideline niggas want gossip all the time. Asking a lot of questions, nigga, that's a warning sign. Listen, he's a snitch, but me, I plead the fifth. Take the weight, tell a judge, eat a dick. The hood like somebody better sign this nigga. Hey yo, where the fuck y'all find this nigga? In the hood like carburetors leaking the Darth Vader. Got me tweaking, breathing harder than Darth Vader. Hey yo, where the fuck y'all find this nigga? Hey yo, where y'all been hiding this nigga? I ain't spitting shit outside, get a deal first. Then I write a verse tighter than one of Pharrell's shirts, nigga. I think I got the game figured out. It be the lame niggas that got the biggest mouths. Niggas get in gangs and swear they killers now. Nigga, you fool, you get ate, chewed, and shitted out. It's Gilla House, pillheads, and car thieves. Ready to start beef, shank sharper than shark teeth. Who want end up like Pac and Biggie, huh? Who want get hit with more shots than 50, huh? Old heads walking around real brolic on some Eddie Kane shit. You think you still got it? Well, hit me with your best shot, fire away. If I lose to one of you fools, I retire today. The hood like somebody better sign this nigga. Hey yo, where the fuck y'all find this nigga? Somebody out here better get at me. I get on some back in the day shit, start playing snatchies, nigga. Hey yo, where the fuck y'all find this nigga? Hey yo, where y'all been hiding this nigga? You don't wanna see me pissed off, you fucking with a big dog. You a sidekick ass nigga like Split Star. I crush grooves more tough than leather. Plus I prove you a duck, I pluck your feathers. You talking this garbage like the boss of the bosses, but you hide under your desk when I walk in your office. You want some homo shit, I let the fofo spit, then bounce like pogo sticks. As for them hoes, somebody better tell them I'm nasty. Show up at her front door butt naked and ashy. What? You hoes supposed to be high fashion, yeah. See you got jokes, but I'm not laughing. I ride past them, black Dodge Magnum, black Charles Manson, that's y'all asses. Like somebody better sign this nigga. Hey yo, where the fuck y'all find this nigga? Eyes behind the wall, tall fence and barbed wires. Now I'm holding the bricks down and I'm on fire, nigga. Hey yo, where the fuck y'all find this nigga? Hey yo, where y'all been hiding this nigga? No love, no slugs to the snub is empty. Prosecutor and judge got a grudge against me. They like, somebody better sign this nigga. I'm trying to sign with the highest bidder. I don't care if the rest of the roster is whack. If the price right, I'll put the label on my back. The hood like, somebody better sign this nigga. Hey yo, where the fuck y'all find this nigga? It's the bricks most dangerous. And when I get on, you bitch niggas can hang it up. That's my word, nigga.
Now tell me who wanna fuck with us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I bang and let your fucking brains hang. Snitches, fuck Marlon for bitches with riches who carry 22s up in they hosiery. A black telling when my father busted and loaded me. Think he just finished sniffing the key and dipping the D's. Don't hate me, hate Nicky Barnes for hitting my mom's letting the condom pop. Nigga, I was born in the drop. Coke boiling the pot. Shake the feds and bust shots at them street cops. Fuck your point is. My point is double fours at your fucking jaws pointed. Hollow point shit, 4.6. Need I say more, or do you get the point, bitch? Come on. What type of nigga slinging bang in the streets? Bad boy. What type of nigga stay in the trunk for weeks? Bad boy. What type of nigga fly Bentley cool? Bad boy. Aim for the sky, cop the shit, then shoot. Links dragging on the floor. Banging on your horse, second the crime scientists examining for flaws. Port of Cristal, on the way to trial, Rico Law got a nigga head hurting, squirting till they pull the curtain. Let the money drip dry, $100 bills wipe the tears from my eyes. No love, fuck y'all niggas. Hope you die slow death as I coke test and see Dolores Tucker protest. Can't fuck with you weak rap niggas, with your gay raps. Running around talking this and talking that. See me in the streets, try to give me that. Andrew Cunanan ass niggas, my two cannons blast niggas, ass niggas. Got me fucked up in the game. Get your shirt stained, keep your 5 mics, nigga, give me the cane. Do the shit to clean my money, dummies. Gleam the wrist out, cock the piss out. Nigga, talk shit now, What type of nigga slang and bang in the streets? Bad boy. What type of nigga stay in the trunk for weeks? Bad boy. What type of nigga fly Bentley cool? Bad boy. Aim for the sky, cop the shit, then shoot. Bling bling. It's a bad boy thing. Bullet seats sinking, street sweeping with an evil grin. Watch you die. One love, one life, one shine. Y'all niggas ain't saying nothing like a mine. Every line I live it, I write it with a pencil, so niggas die lead poison if they bite it. Hate it but recite it. It's a G thing. Me and Puffin St. Bart send it off. Bitches walking topless with G strings. Menage, bust shots at your crew. Another charge as the Gulf Stream fly through the fog. Make you popular. Pockets filled with more high notes than the opera. Franklin's on top of the Jacksons. My nigga Ty, leave you tied. Bad boy, respected or die, coward. What type of nigga slang and bang in the streets? Bad boy. What type of nigga stay in the trunk for weeks? Bad boy. What type of nigga fly Bentley cool? Bad boy. Aim for the sky, cop the shit, then shoot. What type of nigga slang and bang in the streets? Bad boy. What type of nigga stay in the trunk for weeks? Bad boy. What type of nigga fly Bentley cool? Bad boy. Aim for the sky, cop the shit, then shoot.
Man, a bad boy in the corner, so move from on ya, cause we are dangerous. Man, a bad boy in the corner, so move from on ya, cause we are dangerous. Whoa, whoa, see, shiddly waddly diddly daddly, shiddly daddly waddly diddly diddly, whoa, see, shiddly wobbly diddly daddly diddly 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 daddly diddly shiddly daddly diddly waddly diddly shiddly diddly waddly, whoa, see, shiddly wobbly diddly daddly diddly 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 diddly, whoa, see, man a bad boy in the corner, so move from on ya, cause we are dangerous. Man a bad boy in the corner, so move from on ya, cause we are danger, danger, dangerous.
Hear what I say, we are the business today. Fuck shit is finished today. RT and J, we the new PB and J. We dropped the classic today. We did a tablet of acid today. Lit joints with the matches and ashes away. We dash away. Donna and Dixon, the pistol is blasting away.
Doctors of death, killing our patients of breath. We are the pain you can trust. Trumpet it work. Hooking up curses and slurs, smoking my brain in a mush. I became famous for blaming you fucks, naming my way through the brush. There was no training or taming of me and my bruh. Live like a man, but I'm animal raw.
We are the murderers pair. That with the jail and we murdered the murderers there. Then with the hell and discovered the devil delivered some hurt and despair. Used to have powder to push, now I smoke pounds of the kush. Holy, I'm burning the bush. Now I give a fuck about none of this shit. You run her over and out of this bitch.
Step into the spotlight. Copying of uppers and downers get done. I'm in a rush to be numb. Dropping 1,000 ain't much. Come from the clouds on a missile to turn this whole town into dust. Don't make a sound, baby, hush. I am the living swipe right on the mic, I'm a slut. I don't know how to not spit like a loud. I spill it pound on my kids on your couch.
Half of a Mongol and mythical team, dealing this treacherous thing. Legend says Elle is a spun out of hell. The myth is my mama's a murderous queen. Yo, like it in like in Godfather 1. You get the gun as I christen my son. If I die today in this hell I should pay. Tell the Lord Mikey said fuck it was fun.
Every new record's my dick in a box. We get a doozy, the moolah's a lot. You're getting used to me doing no wrong. I don't play chicken, you prick, I'm a fox. You wanna kick it, I'll give you the rocks. You kiss the wood chipper blade if you bark. I'm fucking magic, in fact I'm a war like a talk. I got a unicorn horn for.
Stop.
Step into the spotlight. crowd goes. And the crowd goes.
Mike Pin the jelly won't snitch. I rent a room at the Ritz. I sip a fifth of the whisk. I smoke a dub in the tub. Then I was flip on my wrist.
I'll pull a sword on you since, just for the flick of the wrist. Get your neck giving a miss. Me and my skip away, whistling and grin. Every day's golden when you only win.
Bullying bastards and beating on beats. Sounds like a day at the beach. Preach. I keep the middle school step on your feet before you can speak. We move on the ones you think of me.
These the last days. It's yours. These the last days. It's yours. These the last days. It's yours. These the last days.
It's all about taking my own life into my own hands. RBG, refine, be a grown man. See, that's what I'm doing, cause I know it's inside of me. All I gotta do is just bring it to reality. It's fuck the government, but still I gotta pay the rent. So yeah, I'm for the caper, most definite. Keeping it militant, focused, intelligent. Pimping the system is basic common sense. It's still fuck the bid. Black power ain't dead. All that red, white, and blue shit be going to y'all head. See, we break bread, it's like a game or a sport. Gotta train every day to keep your team on point. Cause still, to this day, our reparations ain't paid. And you can see it in the poverty around the way. It ain't even our own people on BET. So they gotta get it from somebody, it might as well be me. Besides, a nigga gotta eat when he hungry. You see how they send troops to war for their country. Niggas worldwide need an army of one. It's to the foot, put the bullets in the gun, nigga.
These the last days. It's yours. 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 These the last days.
Peace. Black Power family. It's your boy Psychopath Black at you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I couldn't wait to do this stream. 1 second real quick. Before I even get started, family, let me do me a favor out there. Let me get a one if y'all hear me straight. If everything sound good, let me know if this music is too loud. I don't want this music to overdrown what I'm saying. Let's see. Let me get a one out there, family. Let me get a shout out there to everybody in the chat. I see here come the white supremacists. They all in. I'm gonna get in them in a second. All right, there we go. One. Peace to Water Sniper. Peace to Sister Mayat. I saw Sister Renee out there. Peace to everybody. JW, I see you out there. Lioness Mom, what's good with you? Miss Yum Yum, what's good with you, sis? Yeah, so yeah, I want to get into this, family. You know, I gave y'all a few days to watch this. I'm letting y'all know I'm dropping spoilers. I'm letting y'all know, if y'all plan on watching this movie and you really don't want to hear too much about it before you see it, bounce now. Bounce now, because I'm going all in on this movie. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, so walk with me. You know what I'm saying? So don't say, "Oh shit, you fucking this movie up for me," because I warned you. It's in the title and everything. All right. So if you stayed and you didn't see it, you must not care about what the storyline is if I tell it to you. All right. So there you go. I put that out there. All right. So yeah, you're good with spoilers. Okay, that's what's up. All right. Now, I don't even know where to start. A lot of y'all don't even understand who this character is. I suppose, I guess I probably should give y'all a backdrop of who this character is, because, you know, he's kind of like, he's not new to the scene. You know, he's new as far as, like, you know, the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, as far as like all the movies and the Netflix and the ABC shows, that's all tied into this little, you know, soap opera that's going on. You understand it? Where they just playing out all the comic books and live action. So like, you know, like he's new to this scene, but he's not new to comic books and to Marvel. You know, the character was actually, be honest with you, the character, a lot of people think because they hear the word Black Panther and they automatically associate this with the Black Panther Party, right? Now, that would be a mistake. You know, I mean, the term, the whole term Black Panther and the creature itself, the Black Panther, it predates 1967. You know, 1967 is when the original Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was created, and it's actually even documentation of other organizations using the Black Panther logo before the Black Panther Party was even created. So, you know, let's just remember this, you know, like that. Let's just remember that, you know, like, you know, there's nothing new about you know, extra, like, you know, extraordinary about using the term Black Panther, because actually this character predates the Black Panther Party by a year. You know, actually this character was created in 1966. You understand? He was created in 1966 by Stan Lee, who is like the godfather of comic books. As far as, like, you know, he got so many titles under his belt as far as like who he created. You know, he created Spider-Man, the Hulk, he created Thor, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, all the Avengers, the X-Men. You know, like all these characters he created. You know, there's a long other laundry list of characters he created as well. I'm just naming some of the ones that y'all probably familiar with. So, you know, he started in Marvel when Marvel was called Timely Comics. Marvel actually used to be called Timely Comics back in the 30s and everything else, in the 40s when Captain America first came out. Captain America actually first came out in the 40s with World War II and everything else, and he was actually the staple of Timely Comics, which would soon become Marvel later on. He actually was the staple for a few years, as far as that company goes. And then, you know, that was actually deemed as the golden era of comics for people out there that's familiar with the whole comic book genre. And then you had the Silver Age era, which is when Stan Lee kind of like took over the company and started kind of like, you know, reinvigorating the whole comic book genre itself. You know, he kind of like, you know, he started adopting a lot of social issues into comic book characters. You know, like he started embracing a lot of things that was like happening around the world and started adopting that into the comic books, opposed to DC Comics, which is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and all them. They didn't really deal with real world problems. You know, like at the time, you know, they was kind of really like, you know, corporate, you know, propaganda machine. You know, like just listen to Superman. Whenever you hear Superman, it's like, look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Superman. Superman's here to fight for justice and truth and the American way. You understand? Like that was the opening theme to the old Superman show of the 50s. Like, you know, he's about truth, justice, and the American way. You know, like it's a whole bunch of propaganda attached to that whole DC company. You know, like they push a lot of this bullshit. You know what I mean? That, you know, a lot of this whole, like, Superman would totally want us to stand for the national anthem, if that's telling you anything. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is what, you know, the kind of company DC was. They was very conservative, very, you know, in their views and everything. And, you know, like, and Marvel was a little bit more liberal in their views, and they really adopted a lot of social issues, and they actually took from a lot of things that was going on within the black community, because we are talking the 1960s, and we are talking, you know, the civil rights movement. You know, Thor was created in the 60s, had nothing to do with social issues whatsoever. The Hulk, Spider-Man, all of them, not social issues as far as like anything that can be related to as far as like what was going on at the time. You know, they had other issues that they was going through. But then you had characters that he was creating that he started adopting from the civil rights movement, which was the first would be the X-Men. You know, a lot of people probably don't know, but the X-Men, which I love that comic book, by the way, and this is the reason why I love the comic book, is because the premise behind the X-Men. You understand? Like, I look into the writing, you know, like that shit actually, you know, like when I was in the comic books, I look for substance in my shit, you know, like that's why I was a bigger Marvel fan than DC fan, because DC it was so unrealistic. It was like total fantasy. Don't get me wrong, Marvel is complete fantasy as well, but again, they do a good job adopting real issues and incorporating it into their fantasy. You understand? So like, and it which makes for a way deeper story. So you know, it makes the characters deeper as well, because you know, you start to understand the motives and the line of thinking that these characters have. You know, like, 'cause you got DC comics where you got like Lex Luthor. He ain't really got no rhyme or reason behind wanting to take over the world other than to fill his ego. Like, he's Donald Trump. That's who the fuck he is. Like, I guess you could say he is kind of realistic on that level, but not on the level of Lex Luthor is a genius. Donald Trump's a fucking complete idiot. You understand? They both businessmen, but Lex Luthor was actually a genius. Well, Donald Trump's a complete asshole. He's like a bootleg Lex Luthor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I digress, you know. But it was rhyme and reason behind. I mean, it's no rhyme and reason behind what Lex Luthor do besides wanting to fill his ego. Like, it's nothing deep behind this motherfucker. Like, it's nothing deep behind their villains or whatever. Like, they villain, like these motherfuckers. Like, I don't know. I just really can't. I don't know. Like, it's just straight fantasy. Like, I watch it. I'm into some of it, but I'm way bigger of a Marvel fan because their characters are a whole lot deeper. Anyway, I digress. You got the X-Men, right? Now, the X-Men, instead of using the whole black-white narrative, they chose to go with the whole mutants versus humans narrative. Now, the humans would be the white supremacists. You understand? And the X-Men would be the black people. Now, you had the white supremacists, the humans, who always attacked the mutants, even though the mutants didn't want any drama. The mutants didn't want no drama. The mutants just wanted to live amongst the humans in peace. But the humans wasn't going to let that happen, because the humans realized the mutants was different, and they were scared of the mutants, and so they decided that they was going to, pretty much oppress these motherfuckers, and try to like put them in concentration camps and all, pretty much put collars on them to suppress their powers, just all types of shit. Treating them like they not human, because they not human, they mutants. But they wasn't, so they felt like they didn't deserve human rights because they mutants. So, and then you had different sets of the mutants. You had the whole Martin Luther King non-violent faction, which would be the X-Men, who wanted to just pretty much get along with the mutants, kumbaya. The humans, they realize not what they do. It's our job to teach them that we're not here to hurt them and everything else. And then you had the Malcolm X side of things, which would be Magneto and his brotherhood, who was separatists. He didn't want anything to do with the humans, because they like the humans are pretty much the blue-eyed devils. That ain't what he said, but that's the premise that he was giving out there. The humans they're evil. They want nothing to do with us. They're not to be trusted. We need to separate from these people. and we need to build our own nation. That's what Magneto was on. Professor X, who was the X-Men, he didn't agree with that tactic, and so he was on some cooning shit and defending the humans. So he would attack Magneto and try to spoil all Magneto's plans because, you know, he didn't want Magneto to separate or do any harm to the humans. You know, so pretty much the X-Men are a bunch of coons. When you look at it in, you know, in the grand scheme of things, they're a bunch of coons. And Magneto was, in so many words, the field nigga. In so many words. You understand? That's why Magneto is one of my favorite characters in comic books. I tell people that all the time. I'm Team Magneto. Why? Because I understand his line of thinking. His reasoning behind what he does is completely justified. Right? And when I'm looking into when I'm looking at my characters, I'm looking into their heads to see what their motives are. You know, shit gotta make sense to me. Like, even in comic books, shit gotta make some type of sense to me. I know it's fantasy, but again, to make a good story, you have to have deep characters with motives. And I completely understand Magneto's motives. And I can empathize with him. Right? So, anyways, I digress. Just giving you a feel of the type of atmosphere that was going on during this time when the X-Men was created and what motivated them to do some of the things and take some of these story angles that they decided to take. And then we come to 1966, right? The X-Men was created, I believe, in 64. I want to say maybe 63, something like that. They predate Black Panther. Black Panther was created in 1966. And in 1966, him and Jack Kirby, another icon in the comic book industry, they pretty much decided that, they want to, create a black character. Instead of taking this black narratives and dressing it with Europeans, kind of like what they did with the X-Men, they decide, well, maybe it's time and maybe the country is ready for a black superhero. You understand? So they decided they was going to make a black superhero, and they decided to call him Black Panther. Again, this is 1966. The Black Panther Party wasn't created until 1967. So this actually predates the Black Panther Party by 1 year. I'm just saying history. This is documented. It is history. So they came out with the Black Panther character, and they it was certain things there, because in 1966 you had certain perceptions of Africa that was fucked up. You still got these perceptions today, and still damages our people's minds today. You understand? You got people today running around here breaking their necks trying to tell people they not African. People want to separate from that whole narrative of Africa. They hate Africa. You know what I mean? Black people are triggered by this movie because of Africa. You got black people that are triggered by this movie. You got white supremacists that are triggered by this movie. Nothing triggers this country more than blackness. Blackness triggers this entire country. Self-hating Negroes are going to be triggered. White supremacists are going to be triggered. Other nations are going to be triggered because they're going to be feeling left out. Everybody's going to be triggered when blackness is involved. Anyways, I digress. Let me get back to what I was saying, because I ain't even get to my review yet. I got finished telling y'all the premise of this character. Now, they created this character, and they created him in Africa. It was pretty. A lot of things was inaccurate when they, as far as like as far as like, you know, accuracies and everything else, because, you know, you got two Europeans trying to write about a black character, they're going to get some shit wrong. That's just what it is. They're going to get some shit wrong. And they got some shit wrong, and, you know, they tried to clean up on it over the years. They had some controversies with the character. When the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense did come out a year later, and the party actually started gaining momentum and gaining popularity, people actually started people did the same thing people did initially when they heard about this character today. They associate the character with the Black Panther Party of Self-Defense, which the character had nothing to do with the Black Panther Party of Self-Defense at all. It wasn't meant to piggyback off this or any of that. You know, it was like, but it was just the timing of everything. And, you know, so what they initially did was they initially was going to change the name of the Black Panther to the Black Leopard. Right? That's what they was initially going to do, but it didn't work. I think they changed the name. I think it changed for a few issues, I think, and then they switched it back to the Black Panther because they just realized this wasn't working, and the Black Panther concept works a whole lot better. But yeah, they had some controversial characters up in there. I'm gonna address that, but yeah, that's pretty much the backdrop. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to this movie because the rest of it I can explain in the movie. Right now, this character was laying dormant for a long time in comic books. You know, they kind of fell back from making any new issues. You know, and you know, he made guest appearances on the Avenger comics at a few points throughout the Avengers history in comic books. He was a part of the team, and you know, so you know that's pretty much the only time you really get to see him, except for like guest appearances, because you know it was kind of hard to completely keep him out of comics because of the resources that is found in his home country, which is named Wakanda. You know, they got the rarest metal known in Marvel in his country. So anybody who needs this metal, which is the strongest, most rare metal on the planet according to the Marvel universe, the most rarest metal on the planet is right there in his country. They got the monopoly on it. It's only one place in the world to get it, and it's in that country in Africa. So they could never completely write him out. He was always going to be around and about, right? So in comes the 90s, right? Now the 90s, they decided they was about to possibly do a Black Panther movie, but I think the studios was unable to get the rights to him or whatever. So instead they decided to roll with Blade, because at one point in time Marvel was about to go bankrupt, family. Marvel was about to go bankrupt. Marvel was in trouble, and what happened was they ended up selling off the movie rights to a lot of characters. That's why those early Marvel movies like Blade and the early Spider-Man movies, you know, the first three with that Toby dude, that European dude, Toby, whatever his name is, Maguire, I think. With that guy, those movies, the Fantastic Four movies and all that, those are not MCU movies. Those are movies based on Marvel characters, but they was not a part of the MCU. That's why you don't see certain characters within the MCU, because their movie rights are elsewhere, because Marvel was about to go bankrupt and they had to sell the movie rights to some of their characters, and they still in litigations trying to settle this. I think Fox possibly might have sold the movie rights back to Marvel, if I ain't mistaken. So, but they still going through, you know, the proceedings and everything, trying to clear out all the paperwork. So that's not official yet, but it's looking like that's going to happen. Anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. Around this time, you know, Blade comes out. You know, they was thinking about doing a Black Panther movie. They decided to do Blade instead. Wesley Snipes played him, obviously. You know, another black character, Blade, was actually created in the 70s. He actually was after Black Panther, would predate him. Black Panther, I believe, was the first black comic book character. Anybody else came after him is, you know, whatever. Like, he is the original. He is the OG black superhero. You understand? I want to put that out there because, again, a lot of people think this is some new guy who just bust out on the scene. You know, no, he is the original black superhero, right? So, anyways, they decided to roll with Blade. Blade was kind of more popular than Black Panther at the time. So they figured they'd make more money off him, not to mention the whole vampire thing was big. You know, you had the whole Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all that shit going on at the time and this, that, and the third. So they figured they'd capitalize off the vampire hysteria that was taking over this country at the time. And they rolled with the Blade concept instead. You know, and that's what it was. Then you had Spawn, which was a new character at the time. Now, he's pretty much a baby compared to some of these other people. Like, he wasn't created until the 90s. You know, a lot of these other characters that you seeing that you think are new, like Black Lightning. Black Lightning was created in the 70s. He's not new. He actually was created in the 70s. Luke Cage, a lot of people think he's new. He actually was created in the 70s as well. So, like, a lot of these characters that's just busting on the scene now on TV and movies, they've been around for a long time. Outside of Spawn, well, Spawn has been 20-something years with him as well. But at the time when Spawn came out, he wasn't even out 10 years yet. You know, he was a popular character within the comic book world, and they decided to take a shot at it. You know, Spawn isn't attached to Marvel or DC. Spawn is attached to an independent comic book company that isn't attached to it. That's why you never see Spawn in any of these DC or Marvel movies, because he's not attached to them. It's a completely different company, right? So, you know, anyways, you know, now these movies did pretty decent. They did well. You know, they was able to pull in some money. But, you know, us Marvel fans really wanted to see a Black Panther movie. You know, because Blade's character really isn't that deep. I mean, he is kind of, but not really. I mean, if you're into vampire shit, you know what I mean? You whatever. You know, but, like, it's really no social issues in play with Blade or nothing like that. You know, just a lot of action. You know, if you ain't the motherfucker running around killing a whole lot of vampires and that's your thing, then, you know, you'll love it. And, you know, I'm kind of a little, you know, lukewarm on Blade. Blade wasn't necessarily my favorite character. Even though he's black, he's just, I don't know. The character just wasn't deep enough for me. Again, I like substance. You know, it's less about action with me and more about substance. So, and you know, I just clearly couldn't get into the whole vampire thing. Not really a vampire motherfucker like that, right? And you know, Spawn got a lot of religious BS behind it. You know, he done made, you know, he's a hell spawn, making deals with the devil and all this other stuff, everything else. And it's just, it was a little bit too extra for me too. It's a little too extra. Like, how come our superheroes gotta be a goddamn zombie? Why the hell does our superheroes gotta be a black Jesus from hell? The hell is this crap? A hell spawn? What is this? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, it was alright, but it wasn't. I just wasn't that big on Spawn either. I just really wasn't that big on him. Again, like, the character it just didn't connect with me. Like, I don't know, man. I don't like. I ain't, you know, I'm not a religious dude. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that just didn't really connect with me either. There's a lot of religious BS in that. You know, but, you know, that, again, if it's your thing, you know, it is what it is. You know, CGI was cool. His cape is too goddamn long, but, you know, I digress. You know what I mean? But, you know, most Marvel fans really, really wanted to see Black Panther. You understand? Like, where's the Black Panther at? Where's Black Panther? And he kind of was just dormant, not really doing much. And then they started, Marvel started making a comeback. Marvel decided, you know, they was going to, you know, dump some money into a cinematic universe, which I explained already, which is called the MCU. And they're going to take the remaining characters that don't have movie rights anywhere else, and we're going to make a whole big, long, drawn-out miniseries that's going to last for about 15 to 20 years. And we're going to map it all out, and we're going to begin with Iron Man. And that was in 2008. The very first MCU movie was Iron Man in 2008. Right? So around this time, they were starting to put out, but actually before 2008, when they was working up and actually filming the movies and everything, and setting up everything around 2006. We want to say around 2006, they really started trying to put everything in motion. They decided to do some promo animation and everything, and they started coming out with little series or whatever. The Avengers, they brought out an Avengers series and everything else to kind of introduce these characters to people that might not be familiar with them. And I noticed that when they did this, they added the Black Panther as one of the Avengers that they was introducing to the world. So I wasn't really surprised. Given the times, they probably was gonna put a black character there just to try to get black people interested who might not be interested otherwise. So it wasn't a surprise. I was happy they did choose the Black Panther to be that character if they was going to do that, because again, they wasn't really doing much with them. So they did a whole bunch of little animation stuff. Some of it was really good if you're into that type thing. And they did. I felt like they did a fair representation of the Black Panther. And then I noticed that BET had did their own series with the Black Panther X amount of years ago, which was around 2012. I want to say might have been 2011, around then, 2010, 2011, 2012, right around that time frame. They did a series on BET, an animated series with Black Panther. It was only like 6 episodes or something like that. It's not long. It's only about 6 episodes, but it was really good. And they took a lot of the storylines from the comics. They actually got real deep in there, because they actually unlike the other animation I've seen with Black Panther, this one actually touched on the fact that his wife is Storm from the X-Men. You understand? Because that's his wife in the comics, is Storm from the X-Men, and they actually touched on that on the BET series, and I was impressed that they actually took it there. Because most of the time they usually stay away from all that, but they actually took it there, and they actually had her in the storyline, which I thought was good. But it's good shit. If you're into that type thing, if you're interested, you probably could find it somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't think BET even shows it anymore, which is pretty pathetic. I mean, you'd think they would show it now to capitalize off the movie. But anyways, so I seen all this, and I started saying to myself, I think they trying to prepare people for a Black Panther movie. I think a Black Panther movie might just happen. I might just get my wish. So a few years later goes down, and they announced that Black Panther was indeed going to get a movie. This was like in 2014. Maybe the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, but they said he was going to get a movie, and he was going to make a special appearance in the Captain America movie first to set up his movie. So that was when Captain America Civil War was about to drop. So that's when they was filming Captain America Civil War, which was one of the better Marvel movies in my personal opinion. And he was one of the highlights of the movie. Him, Ant-Man, and Spider-Man kind of stole the show of that whole movie. And the movie wasn't even about those 3 characters, but those 3 characters stole the show. And but Black Panther got hella rave reviews after the movie was over and everything else, and ever since then everybody was amped up for him to get his own movie. So people was up there. A lot of people like myself was excited to see this movie coming. Like I said, I tell people all the time, I've been waiting for this movie for over 3 years. I'm not one of these Johnny come latelys who just discovered the Black Panther and all of a sudden, just no. I am a real superhero fan for real. Like for real. And I've been waiting for this character for a long time. Now, there was a lot of people concerned and going ham about this movie before it dropped. And I touched on that just a little bit earlier. Everybody's triggered by this movie, which is insane to me because, you got you got people that, complaining about how this is unrealistic. You got a black guy with all this technology and everything else in this hidden city around mud huts and all this other stuff and everything else. Because for those who don't know, I'll get into that in a second. I'll get into why all that's like that in a second. But I find it hilarious because people are really trying to make this to be like super true to life, true story, like all this shit really happened. And I'm here to remind people, some of y'all motherfuckers a little bit confused. Some of you motherfuckers, y'all do realize this is a comic book character, right? Right? Like some of y'all motherfuckers a little bit confused. Y'all do realize that comic books is fantasy, right? It's not true to life. I mean, I don't hear motherfucking people from Norway bitching about Thor saying, oh, this isn't realistic. You got motherfuckers coming down from Asgard and black ass guardians, which isn't realistic, by the way. How the fuck you got a black ass guardian? Was no black Vikings. Yes, you blackenese motherfuckers who try to make everybody black. It was no black Vikings, motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers was Caucasian in the summer, my bitch. I don't hear people from Norway crying about having a black Valkyrie, a black Heimdall, a fucking Asian Hogan. I don't hear these motherfuckers bitching, oh, this is unrealistic. I don't hear motherfucking these overly patriotic motherfuckers. These old let's make America great again ass motherfuckers bitching about Captain America being from 1942 fighting in motherfucking World War II against a Red Skull from a fucking fictional fucking organization by the name of Hydra. They couldn't even say Nazi. They had to make up an organization by the name of Hydra. Completely unrealistic. Motherfucker goes into a coma for 75 years. And then wakes up because he's a super soldier with some super soldier serum, a vibranium shield. Mind you, they had to get the vibranium from Wakanda. But anyways, I digress. With a vibranium shield, running out here fighting aliens in Times Square. I don't hear none of them fuckers out there saying, oh, this is unrealistic. This is bullshit. This isn't realistic. The fuck is wrong with you motherfuckers? This is a comic book fucking series, you stupid motherfuckers. This is not the real life chronicles of motherfucking Fred Hampton. This is not a fucking documentary of fucking Malcolm X. What the fuck do y'all think y'all gonna see in a comic book movie other than fantasy? You silly ass Negroes. The hell is wrong with y'all? So yes, you're going to see motherfuckers jumping 80 fucking feet in the fucking air. That's what superheroes do, motherfuckers. You're going to have some unrealistic ass metal that can't be motherfucking destroyed. That's what happens in comic books, motherfuckers. You silly Negroes. You motherfuckers, you unrealistic. It ain't the movie that's unrealistic. You motherfuckers are unrealistic. The hell you thought was going to happen? 95% of the movies that come out is unrealistic. This is entertainment. They can give a fuck about being realistic. You silly ass Negroes. I'm not going to go into a Star Wars movie saying this is bullshit. This is unrealistic. Why is Chewbacca not in the Pacific Northwest leaving footprints? Why? It's unrealistic. Why is Yoda not in medieval times going crazy over some mysterious ass rings? Ain't he supposed to be going crazy over some rings that people are trying to be lords of? This is unrealistic. This Star Wars shit is bullshit. What is this? Lightsabers? This is unrealistic. Who does that? You motherfuckers are insane. Anybody who tried to come up on here and pull the realistic card, quotations, I'm putting up air quotations just in case y'all didn't know, the realistic card, tell them motherfuckers to get a grip. It's a fucking comic book movie. Fuck you motherfucking Negroes want it. A biopic? Fuck are we talking about here? Y'all done made me zone out. I done forgot where I was at. So I might as well go ahead and get into my fucking review. Just these silly ass Negroes, man. Just wilding. Y'all are unrealistic. Let me get back to what the hell I was getting at, family. My apologies. Now, let's get to the review. Finally, the movie comes out, right? Everybody's I don't care about the triggered people. I'm here for the people that enjoyed the movie, right? The movie finally comes out, and I'm excited as hell. Like, boom, I went. I had to go check it out. I was going to go Thursday night. I didn't go. You know, me and Renee had to stream and everything else. And I just said, fuck it, I'll wait till tomorrow. It ain't that serious. If I wait this long, they're going to kill me to wait X amount of hours later. I went and saw the movie, and I was nervous because I was like, okay, you know, people are going to be looking to pick this movie apart. Because I already know people went to watch that movie to pick it apart. You have people that they made such a fucking fuss about this movie when the trailer dropped, cursed this movie out, told everybody don't watch it, don't do this, blah blah, the movie's gonna be that, the movie's gonna be this, and then these same silly Negroes went out there and watched the fucking movie. Same ones who told you not to watch it went out there and watched it. And they didn't even watch it to be genuine. They watched it so they could try to find shit to pick apart about the movie, instead of just watching it to try to enjoy a movie. So they went in there pessimistic than a motherfucker. So when you go in the movie pessimistic, you're going to find shit the pick at. So again, I'm going to give y'all a real review. Because I went in there hoping to see something, but wasn't sure if I was going to get what I was hoping I was going to see. Oh, family. I got damn near everything I wanted to see and then some. Let me tell you. The movie starts off with T'Challa speaking to his head of security. Female, I forgot her name, bald head sister, I forgot her name. God damn, I forgot her name. But he was building with her, and they was getting a plan together because it was some kind of special op mission going on right outside the Wakanda walls. Now the Wakanda is a city. Actually, no, it's not even a city. It's a nation. Actually, it's a country. But it's cloaked. It's cloaked from the outside world. They got technology out there that is highly advanced, that is able to cloak the real city that's within Wakanda, where everybody lives at in the highly technological advanced part of the country. And they but to the outside world, it looked like it's nothing but mud huts. They see mud huts when they fly over and they go past or whatever. That's all they see is mud huts. But in all actuality, it's a highly technically advanced city behind the cloaking device. So that's what a lot of people was bitching about when they saw the mud huts and everything else. They was bitching about the disguise. The mud huts that everybody was bitching about was actually a disguise for the real city. And they used this cloaking device to try to keep the city from being colonized and taken over by some oppressors, like they witnessed all the other countries in Africa go through. Right? So they witnessed some special op missions going on outside of Wakanda, right? Outside of the city limits or whatever. We just gonna call it the city limits. And so they set the spy out there, unbeknownst to T'Challa, who is the Black Panther. Unbeknownst to him, his ex-girlfriend was a part of the special ops mission to go out there and take down these people that was trying to invade. Actually, I think they was trafficking. They was doing human trafficking. That's what they was doing. And they was trying to shut down the human trafficking that was going on in Africa. So they went out. They went out there. He went out there. He fought off the human traffickers. Ran into his shorty, his ex shorty, I should say. She was pretty much undercover. And she pretty much, came out, and they pretty much stopped them, and they freed all the people that was being trafficked out, was about to be trafficked out of Africa, and they flew off and took off, right? Him, his ex, and his head of security. Now, they get to Wakanda. When they get to Wakanda, now this is fresh. Now, if you didn't see Captain America Civil War, when they introduced T'Challa in Captain America Civil War, T'Challa's father dies. He was the king of Wakanda. T'Challa was the prince. Now, once his father died, he automatically became king. Now, they sped up. Now, he did all that other. Now, he did everything he did in Captain America Civil War. That was all in America. Now, this is him when he came back to Wakanda. Now, he came back to Wakanda. His father's dead now, and he has to take over the mantle as king. But in Wakanda, you have a tradition. It's not just it's not just nepotism, so to speak. It's part nepotism, but that's just part of it. So he automatically got named king, but in order for him to keep the title king, he has to put himself up in the ring and take on any challenges to the throne in physical combat. Because within Wakanda, you got different tribes. You know, you had the Black Panther tribe, you had the Gorilla tribe, you had the Rhino tribe, you had a whole bunch of different tribes, right? All representing different animals and everything, right? Within Wakanda. And they all had their little chiefs. Each tribe had their little chief or whatever, head of the tribe. And you know, each, you know, he witnessed, he proposed a challenge to any of the other tribes that wanted to try to challenge him for king of Wakanda. Now, all the tribes pretty much all the tribes that was out there at the time said, no, we do not want to challenge for the crown. They asked the other tribe, no, we do not want to challenge for the crown. Asked the other tribe, we do not want to challenge for the crown. And then in comes a person who I was a little bit nervous about, still a little iffy about certain parts, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it could be. In comes M'Baku. Now, for those that don't know, M'Baku from the comic books is one of Black Panther's biggest villains, right? But he's an interesting character. Problem is, he goes by the name of Man-Ape. Now, going by the name of Man-Ape, being a black man, that can rub people the wrong way. It's a very cringe-worthy name, right? And when people bitched about this name, I couldn't say nothing, because I cringed about the name every time I hear it. You know, again, I look in the substance of the character, though. So, you know, he's really a good character outside of the name of Man-Ape. But he's a part of the Gorilla tribe. They stay in the mountains of Wakanda, and he feels, you know, like, you know, the rest of Wakanda doesn't respect them because they live up in the mountains away from everybody else, and they feel like they're not well represented. All right. Now, let me tell y'all this. Like, this movie had so much social politics going on within it. It's insane. Like, this is like kind of like the beginning of the social politics. So I need y'all to pay attention to all this. Now, M'Baku feel like, you know, they feel like they wasn't represented well within Wakanda, because, you know, they separated from everybody else. People don't really fuck with them like that. They treat them like hermits and everything, and they feel neglected. So he came down with his tribe, and he stepped up to the plate and said, I would like to challenge for king. So T'Challa accepted the challenge. Now, being that T'Challa has the power of the Black Panther, which actually I should have probably told y'all that as well. The power of the Black Panther came from an asteroid, supposedly. That's supposedly where the vibranium came from as well. The vibranium came from an asteroid that hit in Africa, right there in Wakanda. And that's where they was able to get all the vibranium. Now, when the asteroid hit, it left little remnants of debris all over the place that caused the plants and stuff like that to grow, you know, kind of like with, I guess you could say, some type of radioactive power or something. I don't know. Make up some scientific bullshit, science fiction bullshit, some radioactive flowers or whatever that, and within the flowers they had something within the flowers that gave the Black Panther their powers. You know, the agility, able to jump, fat, be on speed, strength of a panther, everything. You know, so before T'Challa and M'Baku get the challenge, they have to strip him of his Black Panther powers. So they stripped him of his Black Panther powers. He took the little antidote or whatever, and he stripped him of his powers. So now he's just a normal human, and him and M'Baku get it in, right? They start fighting. And Batu a big motherfucker, by the way. And they go back and forth. You know, it was a few minute fight, and eventually T'Challa wins and make him tap out. Yes, he tapped out, you unrealistic motherfuckers. Yes, I know. How the fuck you know about tapping? Who cares? It's a comic book movie. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, I digress. I just had to address the pessimistic motherfuckers. Anyways, he wins the fight. He taps out, and the fight's over. T'Challa has defended his throne. He is now the undisputed king of Wakanda, and not to be questioned. So now, after this is all over, Wakanda, T'Challa and his sister. Now his sister is named Shuri. Now Shuri is kind of the brainiac of Wakanda. This is how they drew her up. They drew her up in the movies as being the brainiac of Wakanda. Now, in the comic books, T'Challa is actually one of the smartest people in Wakanda. But in the movie, he's not stupid, but they made his sister the brainiac. Like, they made her the, she was the nerd, she was the tech geek. She made and created all the technology, had a large hand in creating a lot of the technology that Wakanda was using. She created his suit, along with a whole bunch of other gadgets. And, so she's pretty much, she's the tech geek of Wakanda. She does all the Tony Stark's building type shit and everything. So, yeah. So, him and his sister gets together, she shows him the new suit that she made for him. Sound resistant. He completely gets in his uniform on command. Highly technically advanced. It absorbs kinetic energy and then releases it back on the people. So it's pretty much kind of a boomerang effect. He can eat a whole lot of kinetic energy and redirect it back at you. Crazy suit, right? So she shows that they had a few funny scenes. She actually was very funny in this movie to me. I actually liked her character. It's hard to walk away from that character not not finding her funny in some type of way, because she was very comical. She was the typical bratty little sister too. She did a good job playing the little bratty sister. She like pranking them and taking little shots at him here and there. She was funny. But they got together and they was preparing for another op mission, right? Another special op mission to retrieve some vibranium from a European who stole it from Wakanda by the name of Ulysses Claw. Now, Ulysses Claw made his first appearance on Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, in Avengers Age of Ultron, Ultron's a robot that was looking to build himself a new robotic body. And he wanted his body to be indestructible, so he needed some vibranium. He wanted his metal body to be built out of vibranium. And so he went to go to Ulysses Claw, who had stole some vibranium from Wakanda. Now, this was in Age of Ultron. Now, speedball up to the Black Panther movie. Black Panther wants to go handle Ulysses Claw because he has that vibranium and he's out there selling it in the black market, underworld or whatever, like selling it to criminals or whatever to make weapons and stuff. And it's being misused, and nobody's supposed to, and they just don't want nobody to have vibranium because, again, they own all the vibranium and they want to keep it that way because these are, Wakanda, is the only country in Africa that was not colonized by Europeans, and they wanted to keep it that way. And so, and they know Europeans are going to come, hunting for the vibranium once they find out that it's there. So they always try to keep it a secret, hence the whole cloaking devices and everything else. Anyways, let me get back to the story. They went to go find Ulysses Claw to retrieve a lot of the vibranium. Now, before they went to go retrieve the vibranium from Ulysses Claw went to go get some more vibranium, right? Now, this is where shit gets interesting. They zoom in to Michael B. Jordan. He makes his first appearance in the movie. Michael B. Jordan is in the museum. Michael B. Jordan is in the museum and he's checking out all the African artifacts, right? So he asks around and he's asking people like, what's this and what's that? Some people didn't know, so they went and got the expert of the museum, some European Becky, to, you know, pretty much, you know, explain what the African artifacts are, you know, and where they came from exactly. So, you know, he went to a couple joints, you know, he was like, you know, like, what's this? And where's this from? You know, she'll tell him, you know, what tribe, what century, you know. He went over to another artifact and was like, okay, you know, like, well, what's this? And where's this from? You know, she tell him what tribe and what century again. And then he went over to another joint. Then he finally gets to this little spear type thing inside the holding case. And Michael B. Jordan, whose name is Eric, I believe his first name was in this movie. He actually goes by the name of Killmonger, but I'll get in that in a minute. But I believe his government name is Eric, if I ain't mistaken. But anyway, Michael B. Jordan was like, you know, well, what's this one right here? Pointing at the spear. And she said she gave some tribe, and she said she believes it's from this century and believes it's from this tribe. And he just shakes his head and was like, nah. And she looked at him like weird and was like, excuse me? He's like, nah. He's like, this is stolen from some British colonizers. And it's from a country called Wakanda. And it's made out of vibranium. So she looks at him crazy like, whoa, like, the fuck is you talking about? Like, okay, I think she's like, I think, and he cut her off and was like, nah, don't worry about it. I'll take it off your hands for you. And she was like, excuse me, these items are not for sale. This is a museum. And then she was like, excuse me, security or whatever. And then he was like, no. He was like, he was like, your people always stealing. He started going ham on her, like, your people oppressed us, y'all stole this from our people, and this, that, and the third, and blah blah blah. And he started, like, you know, getting on her, like, you know, like, pretty much like, how dare you, like, you stole this from Africa, you gonna sit up here and take state claim over this? You stole this from other people that don't look like you. You are oppressors, and you and your about. And he started going in, and she called security, and he was like, be careful, because you ain't even paying attention to what you putting in your body. Because she was drinking something, and obviously he put something in her drink, and then she kind of just, like, you know, passed out. And then security came over there. He was like, yo, help, security, get an ambulance and everything else. And the ambulance people come in, and one of the ambulance people was Ulysses Claw. So Ulysses Claw comes in, and he comes in, he shoots up all the security guards, everything else, and they end up taking the spear. And Michael B. Jordan also takes a mask because he was feeling it. Apparently that's what he says. He's like, I'm feeling this mask, I'm taking it. So yeah, so now, you know, T'Challa and them are going after Ulysses Claw for stealing all this vibranium and everything all over. And he's going just to retrieve the vibranium, make sure the vibranium don't get in bad hands. And he don't like the fact that Europeans got their hands on the vibranium, because he don't trust Europeans. No Wakandans trust Europeans. The Wakandans call Europeans colonizers. They call them all colonizers, and that's what they call them. So they don't call them Europeans, they call them colonizers, and they don't trust them. So, and they don't want the vibranium in none of their hands. So, you know, he went to go retrieve it. Ulysses Claw was up in Korea, I believe they was at. I believe they was in Korea. So they had to go to Korea to go, you know, take care of Ulysses Claw. You know, they go out there, you know, they went out there to go retrieve it. He was in some kind of club, like / casino looked like or whatever, and they had a really dope fighting scene up in there. And they was doing a thing up in there, and that's when Black Panther did that one scene that a lot of you saw where he was sitting on top of the car and his little sister was actually supposedly driving the car, but she was actually driving it from remote control, so she wasn't in the car physically, but she was driving the car and he was sitting on top of it, and that was a dope chase scene. That was a dope chase scene. Y'all just gotta see it. I can't put it into words, you understand? But it was a real dope scene. And eventually he catches up to Claw, and he takes, you know, Claw is pretty much popping shit. First he tried to blast him with his hand. He hit him, but again his suit absorbs kinetic energy, so his claw blast didn't really mean nothing. So he ripped his claw off, and then he asked him like, what are you doing with the vibranium? He pumped his brakes, and the police was there. Actually, a CIA agent was there who was undercover. European CIA agent that was undercover. He was there, so he took Ulysses Claw and his he took him and he took him to the police station. And while they was at the police station, you know, they was up here, you know, they was chopping it. He was pretty much saying, you know, I'll let you ask Claw a few questions, but afterwards he's coming with us. And you know, CIA agent was like, hold up now. You know, like this isn't your jurisdiction. Like, you know, he's under our possession. You know, like, you know, this isn't your jurisdiction, whatever. He like, you know, Black Panther like, you know, yeah, whatever. This motherfucker coming with us when you done with him. And so you know, they was like, you know, well, fuck it, let him ask him some questions. It can't hurt. And that's when they asked Claw, you know, like, well, why'd you steal all the vibranium? And Claw started laughing at the European motherfucker, the CIA agent started laughing at him, was like, stole all they vibranium? Are you shitting me? He's like, what I got is a fucking drop in the sand compared to what they got. He's like, I'm the only I'm the only outsider who went up into Wakanda and came out alive to speak about it. He was like, they got a whole mountain of that vibranium that they sitting on. What I got is a little piece. I was lucky to get out with that. And he was like, I ain't got all they fucking vibranium. So, you know, like, so he pretty much was putting them on to what the hell was going on out in Wakanda. It was like, you know, he was like, how is that possible when Wakanda's a third world country? And he was like, you ever heard of like El Dorado or all these other stuff, all these little fictional cities that people were searching for? Some thought it was out in Mexico and all this other stuff. Like, nah, it was in Wakanda the whole time. He was like, it's not a third world country. He was like, it's a front. He was like, it's highly technically advanced. He's like, way more than us, and they got all that vibranium they sitting on. So so pretty much, you know, then next thing you know, Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, busts in and breaks the wall. You know, puts a bomb there. Explosion goes off. Wall comes down. He comes in shooting at everybody, and he grabs Claw and they ride off. Now, when this happens, I'm sitting up here, I'm cursing Michael B. Jordan out, right? I'm like, why Michael B. Jordan? Always gotta be one. Always gotta be one to run around here and just save these Europeans and this, that, and the third, everything else. I'm like, why the fuck is he up here saving this European, right? This European's about to get that work. It's about to take this motherfucker back to Wakanda and handle their business. But this motherfucker want to come up in here and save this European. So I'm pissed off at Michael B. Jordan at this time, right? I'm like, here we go. Here we go. I knew it. Had to be at least one. Always gotta be one, right? So they ride off, they bust them out of there, they ride off, right? And they immediately go out to the airport. Now, when they get to the airport, you know, Ulysses Claw is like, you know, he's telling Killmonger, thanks for helping breaking me out and everything else, this, that, and the third. We're gonna go back to America, and I'm gonna hit you off and pay you when we get back. So Killmonger was like, nah, don't worry about it, son. You good. I don't want your money. All I want you to do is on our way back, just drop me off at Wakanda. And so Ulysses Claw is like, drop you off at Wakanda? I ain't trying to get caught in Wakanda. It's like, you better not get caught in Wakanda either, cause you an outsider too. Like they'll treat you the same way they'll treat me. They don't play them games. You ain't from their nation. He's like I'm not going back to Wakanda. And so Killmonger shot the motherfucking pilot. Now Killmonger yokes up Ulysses Claw yokes up Killmonger's shorty, his little Bonnie, because they had a little Bonnie and Clyde thing going. So Ulysses Claw snatches up Killmonger's shorty, puts the motherfucking gun to her head, and was, you know, like, yo, I will pop her back to foot. Put your gun down. I will blow her fucking brains out. And his shorty looked at Killmonger and was like, I'm sorry, Eric, I'm sorry. And he looked at her and was like, don't worry about it, it's all good. And he shot her. He told her, don't worry about it, it's all good, and shot her ass, killed her. And then Ulysses Claw was like, oh shit. And then he took off and ran. And then Killmonger walked up on him and approached him, and you know, they shot at each other a couple of times. Claw ran out of bullets, and then Killmonger walked up to him with the gun about to pop him, and Ulysses Claw is like, I don't know, he's like, you're never going to survive in Wakanda. They're going to kill you the second you get there. You are an outsider. And he showed him a hole in his neck or whatever, or like a scar on his neck, and was like, this is what they do to outsiders. And Killmonger rolled up his sleeves and showed him some tattoos. And Ulysses Claw was like, that don't mean nothing. He's like, they can see right through your disguise. He was like, they all got records of who belongs there. They'll know you're not one of them. And then Killmonger takes his lip and folds his lip down and shows a tattoo inside his lip. And Ulysses Claw, all of a sudden a light bulb went over his head and was like, oh shit. And he just started laughing and was like, I thought you was just some regular old street nigga. That wasn't his exact words, but that's pretty much what he was saying. I thought you was just some regular old street nigga. So come to find out, Killmonger has Wakandan blood, as in the Wakandan bloodline, right? So he kills him. He kills Ulysses Claw. Takes Ulysses Claw up to Wakanda. He takes Ulysses Claw up to Wakanda. He gets to Wakanda. He's dragging his dead body across the grasslands, and he approaches the mud huts and everything else that's on the outside of Wakanda, the fake mud huts. He approaches those, and the security guards that are out there that are fronting like, you know, third world people, the security guards that are out there, you know, they walk up to him and it's like, you know, like, who are you? And you know, they said, what do you want? And he said, I came to drop something off. And he unzipped the body bag, and they saw it was Ulysses Claw. And they looked at Killmonger strange and was like, who are you? So then they flash off to T'Challa and everything else, and now T'Challa finds out that this guy whom he saw, I definitely missed the part. See, I'm trying to remember everything, but I'll get to that in a second. When he saw the guy break Ulysses Claw out of the prison, he noticed that the guy Killmonger had a ring similar to his. So when he noticed that Killmonger had a ring similar to his, he went to one of the elders and asked the elder, how is that possible that this guy has this ring which is supposed to represent royalty? How is that possible? Now the elder who was played by Forrest Whitaker, he didn't really want to tell him something. You could tell he was hiding something. And T'Challa demanded that he told him, was like, I'm your king, you better tell me. So he told him that back in the day, there was when your father was king, your father had a brother who was in the bloodline. His brother left Wakanda to go to America to take care of some things. When his brother went to America to take care of some things, he fell in love with an American female. A black female, don't worry, female. You know, it wasn't no swirling. But he fell in love with a black female. And they had a kid together. And he decided to stay out there and make a life for himself out there, opposed to coming back to Wakanda. Now, his brother, who is T'Challa's uncle, T'Challa Pop's brother, started taking vibranium out of Wakanda. Now, T'Challa's father, being the king, he had to put a stop to this, because that's breaking tradition. The vibranium was not supposed to ever. Vibranium is not supposed to ever leave Wakanda, and he was taking vibranium out of Wakanda. So the father went up there to see why his brother was doing this. So they went out to Oakland, because that's where the brother was living at, in Oakland. So T'Challa's father asked his brother, "Why are you doing this?" His brother was like, "Look around, brother. You not see that we have all these people that live out here that look like us, that are being oppressed by the colonizers, that are struggling, police brutality, job wages, not being treated fairly, being killed and murdered and all this, that, third." He's like, the reason why they are oppressed out here in America is because they don't have the tools to fight back. If they had the tools to fight back, they can beat their oppressor. We have the tools to help them fight the oppressor. I want to help them. T'Challa's father is like, that they're not our problem. We are not responsible for what all the wrongdoings that happen in the world. We only could worry about Wakanda. The brother disagreed. The brother was like, "You're an old fool. We have people all over this world that look like us that are being oppressed because they don't have the right tools, and you want to deny them of that." So the brother is a revolutionist. Oh, the brother was a revolutionist, family. He was about that life. He was Michael X. He's a revolutionist. He was ready to take that vibranium out of motherfucking Wakanda and set it off. He was ready for the revolution to be televised. He was ready. He was about that life. T'Challa, father, wasn't trying to hear it though. He was like, not my problem. You are to go back to Wakanda and face the council and deal with whatever punishment that is given to you. So he immediately pulls out his gun and aims his gun at the elder, Forrest Whitaker, who was younger at the time. This is when he was younger at the time. Aims the gun at him, and T'Challa's father turns around and kills his brother. kills his brother. Put claws right through his heart. Right? Now his brother was messing with that American female and they had a kid together. And the kid was, yep, you guessed it, Michael B. Jordan, aka Killmonger. So this is how Killmonger ended up with the tattoos and everything, you know, the mark under the lip and everything else. This is how he became a part of Wakanda royalty. Now, Wakanda didn't know about this incident that happened. Black Panther finds out about this, and him and the Elder are the only ones who know. And then Killmonger shows up with the dead body of Ulysses Claw, and they wondering who the hell is he? The other Wakanda, the other people from Wakanda, they wondering who the hell is he? Right? So they flash over and they tell T'Challa, there's a man here who brought us Ulysses Claw dead body. And T'Challa is like, who is he? And they say, we don't know. He has Wakandan tattoos. He has Wakandan markings, but we have no records of him. So T'Challa automatically knows who he is because the Elder told him about the story. So T'Challa automatically is like, okay, this has to be my cousin. Right? So he takes he goes over to Killmonger. Actually, he has Killmonger brought to him, and Killmonger pretty much starts demanding that he, you know, saying pretty much calling T'Challa father a murderer, saying it's his blood right to challenge for the king, for the throne. He said he started making demands about how he wants to challenge. He wants to challenge, it's his birthright and everything. And people was asking, like, why is you doing this? And he was like, honestly, I'm looking around here and y'all living real comfortable out here in Wakanda. Y'all don't have no worries in the world. While there's a whole bunch of people outside of Wakanda who look like us who's being oppressed. It's a bunch of people outside of Wakanda that's been colonized, that's been enslaved. You know, that's not liberated. Well, I'm here to I want to change all that. I want to open up Wakanda to all black people. So pretty much, when I originally hated Killmonger for, you know, saving the European Ulysses Claw, that was before I realized he was just using that European to get himself back to Wakanda's good graces. Come to find out, Killmonger is a Pan-African. Comes to find out, Killmonger is a revolutionist and a Pan-African. And he wants to use the vibranium in Wakanda to unify the people. He want to take the war to the Europeans. He wanted to unify all black people. This is what Killmonger wanted to do. At that point in time, I fell in love with the character. I understood his motives. I understood his line of thinking. I was able to connect with him. I really appreciate that character at that moment of the movie. Right? Now, when he did that, I said, okay, that's what's up. I feel what you're talking about. T'Challa and them in Wakanda wasn't feeling him though. Because their argument was the reason why Wakanda was able to thrive all these years is because we didn't bring any drama to anybody. We stayed out here, minded our business, and stayed hidden from the colonizers. Us being able to stay hidden from the colonizers and minding our business is why Wakanda is able to thrive the way it does. If we start setting it off and bringing the drama to people, we could potentially lose everything. Killmonger didn't give a fuck. Killmonger was willing to give up whatever because he didn't grow up in Wakanda. He didn't have any attachment to the Wakanda traditions. He had attachment to the American plight of black people. That's what his connections was, and that's what thrived him. That's what motivated him. Right? So, you know, it was just powerful, right? And so T'Challa initially didn't want to take the challenge. He wanted to try to work it out with him because he realizes that, you know, he felt bad that his father killed his father. And he kind of understood why Killmonger was upset and felt slighted and was done wrong. I mean, you know, he was left an orphan. You know, so T'Challa wanted to try to make things right with him. But Killmonger wasn't really having it. Killmonger was focused. You know, he wanted to bang on the beast for real, for real. Like, he wanted to bang on the beast. So at the end of the day, he was like, all right, this is what, all right, peep game. So, T'Challa eventually warred out and was like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to give you your challenge because it is your right. I don't think this is what we should do, but I'm not going to deny you your right. So they went through the whole process. You know, he got his powers stripped again with the antidote and everything, and they fought. And T'Challa lost. You know, he beating the brakes off T'Challa. You know, because, you know, Killmonger ain't no joke. You know, he's a former CIA agent, special op agent, and all kinds of other stuff. Like, he got stripes under his belt. Like, he did a lot of killing in his day. You know, he's in the military, everything else. He did a lot of killing. He ran down all the killing he's done. So he wasn't no joke, and he ended up beating T'Challa. You know, and they was fighting by a waterfall, and he ended up throwing T'Challa over the waterfall. That was how the fight ended. So now Killmonger is king. Now, as king, you know, they had to go through their little ceremony to give him his powers. Because as king, you get the power of the Black Panther. So they went through the whole process of giving him his powers. And when you go through the process of getting your powers, you also get a few minutes to talk to the ancestors. You know, when T'Challa turned king, he got a chance to talk to his pops. You know, he got a chance to go and talk to the ancestors in maybe purgatory. I don't know where they be at, you know, whatever. Heaven, whatever you believe. I don't know. You know, but he got a chance to talk to the ancestors. And when Killmonger got his powers, he got a chance to talk to the ancestors as well. And he got a chance to talk to his pops. You know, and that was another deep scene. Afterwards, you know, he snapped out of it, and you know, now he got his powers, and the flowers that gave the people the Black Panther's powers, he ordered for all that shit to get burnt up, because he asked them, he was like, why all, he's like, is this all the special flowers or whatever? And they was like, yeah. And he was like, why so many? And she was like, well, we need it just in case, you know, for the new king or whatever. This, that, and third. He's like, new king? He's like, nah, I want all this shit burnt down. I want it all burnt down. They was like, well, we can't do that. That's against tradition. And he was like, listen, I'm your king now. Do what the fuck I say. yoked her up and shit, you know. So they had to burn all the shit down and everything. But before they did that, T'Challa's ex grabbed one of the little stones or whatever come out of the flowers or whatever that gives they power. She grabbed one and dipped off. Now, her and Angela Bassett, who was T'Challa's mother, turned around and, you know, they dipped off in the middle of the night to go try to seek help. Now, when they went to go try to seek help, they went to the one person, the only person they felt like they can go to, and that was M'Baku, the guy from earlier from the White Gorilla Clan, right? So they go up to the mountains to go get M'Baku, and again, some of my favorite scenes of the movie was this part right here. So they up there trying to explain to M'Baku, like, you know, like, we got an outsider here now. An outsider is now king, and he's threatening all Wakanda traditions, and he's threatening to open up the borders to Wakanda, and that's going to spell doom for all of us. Our border's supposed to stay closed. He's breaking tradition. We need you to help. We know ultimately you love Wakanda, even though we've had issues in the past. And, you know, and now they up there and they had that little CIA European dude with them, because they had to bring him to Wakanda to help him out. Mind you, this European had a very small role. He was pretty obsolete. He was just a token white guy. He literally was just a token white guy. He was really obsolete. So don't get too bent out of shape. You know, he was his role was so small. He pretty much was there just to give the backdrop to Killmonger's storyline. That's pretty much the only reason why he was there. But anyways, they had the European with him or whatever, and he went. He's the only white guy in the motherfucking spot, right? M'Baku sitting on his throne. He got his people around him. You got Angela Bassett, T'Challa's sister, and T'Challa's ex is there with this European. The European is the only European there, surrounded by black people. They trying to convince M'Baku that, you know, he should help them and everything else. And the European was like, you know, M'Baku, you know, don't you think you should? And all of a sudden M'Baku just cut his ass off and was like, yeah. They started barking or some shit. Like, they was just making that little barking noise these motherfuckers was making and everything else. And it was loud as hell with that shit. And then the European got nervous and shut up. And M'Baku looked at him and was like, you cannot talk here. He said, you say one more word, I'm going to feed you. I forgot what he said, who he said he was going to feed him to. But he shut that European motherfucker down. He shut Billy Bob the fuck down. He's like, shut your filthy mouth. That motherfucker was like, you cannot talk here. Like, you colonizer. I don't respect you. Shut the fuck up. You lucky I ain't going in your mouth right now. You lucky you still breathing. Shut the fuck up. That I'm paraphrasing, but that's what the fuck he was getting at. Yeah, it was their children, right? Yeah, it was the children. Exactly. I'll feed you to my children. Yo, he shut him down. I was like, yeah, yep, exactly. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck, mind your motherfucking business. Why the fuck was you there? So he shut him down, like, shut the fuck up. And then he went back and started talking to Angela Bassett and them after the European shut the fuck up. And he ain't say another word either. He didn't say another fucking word in front of M'Baku either. He made his business and shut the fuck up, by the way. But anyways, Angela Bassett and them was like, you know, like, yeah, M'Baku, look, we even got, you know, like the power of the Black Panther. They presented the stone and was like, we even got this to help. But we need your help. And M'Baku saw that they had the stone, and he stood up and he looked at him and was like, come with me. So they all walked with him, and he took him over to a little small cave on the side, and inside the cave was T'Challa. T'Challa was still alive in a coma. He never died when he fell over the waterfall. He said one of his fishermen found him and brought him up to the mountains to him. So he brought it up to the mountains to him so he can, for whatever. And they put him inside a whole bunch of snow to keep him, breathing. But he was in a coma and he was in bad shape. And they was like, why is he in the snow? He was like, because that's the only thing that's keeping him breathing. And they was like, we got to take him back down to the city or whatever. He was like, nah, you can't. He's like 2 minutes outside the snow and he's dead for sure. He won't make it. So they took the stone that they had, they grinded it up and everything else, made the potion, and they gave it to him, the Black Panther joint, and he snapped out the coma. Boom, he was good, right? So now they still got to worry about Wakanda being taken over by Killmonger and him having control. And so now they got to try to figure out how to get control back of Wakanda. And T'Challa is talking to M'Baku and everything, and this, that, and the third. First they was coming up with a plan of what to do, how they can do this and how they can do that. So they came up with a plan. He was talking to M'Baku, trying to convince M'Baku to help him. And M'Baku was like, nah, I can't do that. I can't help you with your agenda. And T'Challa was like, why? And he was like, because. He was like, it's been centuries since a king has came up here to the mountains, and now and you're the first one in centuries. He's like, I'm supposed to care about your agenda when you guys don't give a fuck about us up here? He was like, nah, I can't do that. He was like, and T'Challa was like, well, can you watch my mother and them and this, that, and third, make sure she's all right? And he was like, yeah, I can do that, but I can't go down and support your movement. So he was like, all right, fuck it. So, T'Challa went down there. They went down there, and I'm just going to speedball through the rest of this, because the rest of this is like, you got to just see, it's a bunch of action scenes, because this is like, the big the big finale with all the action scenes and everything. Pretty much he goes down there, Killmonger and them's about to fly a bunch of vibranium and all kinds of other stuff outside to like the United States and the inner cities and everything. And he had people set up to, receive the vibranium so they can, take it, set up shop and everything. And they came out there, spoiled the plans. His sister, his ex, him, white dude was driving a drone, shooting down the planes that had the vibranium. It's just bullshit, whatever. Like I said, his role was small. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't shoot nobody. He was a pussy. Anyways, but anyways, I digress. They did all this. Then they finally had the big fight with Killmonger and T'Challa in the vibranium mound with the trains and everything that transport the vibranium and all that. And they got into a long fight. T'Challa ends up stabbing him, and after he stabs him, they had a scene where he walked him up so he could see the sunset, because he claimed he never saw the sunset of Wakanda. He just wanted to see it one time or whatever. And he brought him up to show him the sunset, and he was trying to talk to him like, it doesn't have to end like this. Maybe we can fix this and save you, and we can try to make this right. My father was wrong. I'm not mad at you, but I understand where your frustrations come from, but we can fix this. And Killmonger was like, nah, fuck that. And he straight took the spear and shoved it all the way in him and killed himself right there after he saw the sunset. And that pretty much was the end of Killmonger. Yeah, man, that's pretty much the end of the movie right there. I mean, it was a couple other things that happened at the end, but after Killmonger dies, that's pretty much the end of a lot of shit. Like, this movie, family, this movie was everything practically everything I wanted it to be and everything it should have been. Because this wasn't necessarily, like, I heard some people bitching about how it wasn't a lot of fight scenes. I actually like the fact that it wasn't an ass load of fight scenes, and it was more about the story and more about building these characters. And this shit touched on so many social issues. Like, it really touched on a lot of details, like the divide amongst blacks as far as like African blacks and American blacks, and how our line of thinking is different, and how and what motivates us to think certain ways and everything and see things different, and how Africans view Americans and how Americans view Africans. It touched on a lot of that taboo topics and everything. It touched on a lot of the social aspects as far as, like, you know, you got the integrationists and then you got the separatists, you understand, and then you got the split amongst the separatists. You got the separatists who think that we should just, you know, get our own, do our thing, and just leave everybody alone. And then you got the more aggressive ones who want to bring the war to the white man. You know, it broke down a lot of that. It's a lot of political undertones. For those that was worried about a lot of SJW bullshit, I'm gonna say this. It was not no LBGT shit going on. It wasn't. I didn't see one gay person in Wakanda. Let me say that again. For all you people that was running around here thinking it was going to be some LBGT stuff, I didn't see one gay person in Wakanda. Not one. All right. Even the ones that look like they might be gay, no, they have boyfriends and husbands. Not one gay person. And it was a sense of feminism there. You know, because his guards, his security was women. But I had no issues with that. You got tribes in Africa that are like that. So, yeah, I had no issues with that whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with that in my eyes. But you know, that's the closest thing to some SJW stuff you were going to see, is that his armed security was all females. That's the closest thing to some SJW stuff you're going to see. You know what I mean? Because there was no gay agenda there. And that, I love the fact that it was no gay agenda there. I love the fact that there was nationalist propaganda all in this movie, and I loved all of it. Let me say that again. I loved all that nationalist propaganda that was up in this movie. I love the Pan-Africanism that was in this movie. I love a lot of the messages, the social messages that was up in this movie. This was a great movie. You don't even got to be a comic book fan to love this movie. You really don't. Because you're going to go into that movie, you're going to come away with that movie after you watch it, understanding those characters. So you don't even have to be a fan. You can go in there not knowing nothing about nothing and walk away understanding everything and understanding everybody's line of thinking. And I mentioned this earlier, and I'll mention it again. I love the Killmonger character. When I first found out Michael B. Jordan was going to be in this movie, I was not excited. I'm not the biggest Michael B. Jordan fan. You know, people love this motherfucker. I just never got it. You know, I hated him in the Fantastic Four. Having a black Human Torch is retarded. I'm sorry. It's just stupid. And I hated him in the Fantastic Four, and I was not excited when I found out he was in this movie. I wasn't going ham, talking crazy about, but I wasn't excited. I was on some, okay, let's just wait and see. Wake me up when the movie happens. I'm not going to get too excited about him. I'm excited about the movie. I wasn't excited about him. After watching the movie, he was one of the standouts. And he was one of my favorite characters of the movie. I love bad guys who are not really bad guys. I like bad guys who are subjective as far as like whether or not they're bad guys or not. Like Magneto. Everybody doesn't view Magneto as a bad guy. Why? Because people can empathize with his motives. And it's the same thing with Killmonger. I empathize with his motives. So I really didn't see him as a bad guy. I really didn't. Well, Chaz, I said spoilers in the title. You know. I said spoilers. Yep, Team Magneto, you already know. Like I said, man, I appreciate people's motives. And that's what I want in my characters, and like deep motives. And I don't know how you walk away. I don't know, like I see Back to Love back in here. I think he saw it. Back to Love, tell me you wasn't fucking with Killmonger. Like, Killmonger was a beast. Like, how do you not appreciate Killmonger's thought process? Like, when he came in there and was talking his shit and telling everybody about, you know, like, yo, y'all motherfuckers, he pretty much was calling them a bunch of coons. That's pretty much what he was calling them, even though they wasn't coons. That's pretty much that was how he was coming at them, though. Like, it was a real heated conversation. And, you know, like, it's not really, like, this movie really wasn't even a Disney-type movie. This really wasn't even a Disney-type movie. Because, like, Disney usually don't touch on these type of topics. Disney's really, you know, a lot of, you know, cupcake bullshit for the most part. You know, they ain't touching on these type of topics, but they touched on this. They touched on a few things. You know what I mean? They was pretty direct with it. Normally they'll be like, you know, they'll be like indirectly talk about or mention certain issues or whatever. You know, it'll be like a little segue or something. Whatever. Nah. They really got deep into detail about shit. And they touched on a lot of shit that's going on in this country and Africa and everything. Like just black people and how different black people think. And how different black people have different solutions for our oppression. This was a great movie. It was deeper than just some comic book shit. As far as like, as far as the issues that they was touching on, because you could relate. Now, mind you, I'm not sitting up here saying that it's going to end white supremacy and no shit like that or whatever. This, that, and the third. I'm judging this. I'm giving you a movie review. All right, I'm not saying that this is because some people are like, oh, y'all acting like this is going to save black people and nothing. Like, no, this ain't what the fuck I'm saying, motherfucker. Don't take what the fuck I'm saying and bend it out of shape. All right, this is entertainment. It's just a movie, but it's a good movie, and it touched on a lot of real shit. It did. It touched on a lot of real shit, and I'm glad it did that. Colonizers, the new Peckerwood. Yep. I'm about to start calling them colonizers. It's about to be my new word. Exactly. He wasn't on that we shall overcome shit. That motherfucker was ready to get, he was ready to get it in. That motherfucker, he wanted that smoke. He wanted that smoke. And he was ready to take it there. I didn't see nobody damn. I ain't see nobody dressed up. Word up. But I love the movie though, family. I love the movie. I highly suggest that people see the movie. It's really worth it. It really is. At least to watch it one time. It's worth at least one time. If you watch it one time, you're gonna want to watch it again. You might wait for it to come on cable to watch it again, but you will watch it again if you watch it once. I promise you. Now, you always gonna have these haters, you know, because like I said earlier, you always gonna have the haters. They're hilarious, by the way. They're hilarious. I find it real funny that these same motherfuckers who was bitching and moaning and complaining about the trailer saw that shit on the very first weekend. Saw the movie on the very first weekend. Same motherfuckers who bitched about the fucking trailer. These motherfuckers who was running around. And what happened? I heard motherfuckers. I remember when the trailer dropped, motherfuckers was like, watch, it's going to be a white savior that's going to come in and save all the black people. Watch, it's going to be a white savior. It's going to be a white savior. And I told them motherfuckers back then in the summer, I told them, if you think that this movie is going to have a white savior, then you do not understand who this character is. You do not understand the storyline. If you think for 1 second that this movie is going to have a white savior, you're just showing how much you do not know about the Black Panther. I told you fuckers in the summer it wasn't going to be a white savior. And I'm telling you now, days after I saw the movie, it was not a white savior. You had one token white dude who didn't do pretty much shit. He was just there to make white people feel comfortable watching the movie. That's it. There was only one scene where there was no black people in it. And that was the scene where the white CIA dude was interrogating Ulysses Claw in the room. It was just them two. That's the only scene that didn't have black people in it. That was the whitest scene of the fucking movie. And that was only like 2 minutes long. I was hyped for Nat Turner, Miss Yum Yum. I was hyped for Nat Turner. Unfortunately, Nat Turner movie let me down. The Nat Turner movie let me down. But I was hyped for Nat Turner. Absolutely. I absolutely was. It let me down though because they catered to the Europeans and they didn't really show Nat Turner doing what he did. You know, they didn't really showing him wow out. They just showed most of the movie was a build up. You know what I'm saying? Like the revolt only lasted about 10 minutes. Not the whole damn movie. And that shit was a letdown. You know what I mean? They showing our teeth getting chiseled and all this old other shit and everything else, us getting abused and all this shit. Then when it's time to start killing off all those families and all those mothers and babies and everything else, that third, they had a problem showing that. But when it comes to black people, they have no issues showing our dead bodies. They have no issues showing us being hung. They have no issues showing us being lynched and drugged and blown up in churches and dead bodies. How many black movies you done seen with us being fucked up, burnt the fuck up, hung, just swinging from a fucking tree? We finally get a movie where we get to get these fuckers back. Nat Turner. Finally, I get to see some white people get fucked up, and they just skimmed right through it, like it was just like that shit really wasn't about nothing. Like that shit was just a minuscule part of the story. They just skimmed right over it. Yeah, the Nat Turner movie. Yeah, I was a little bit upset with that. You know what I mean? But yeah, family. Don't listen to these most of these motherfuckers who's crying about this movie. They not even comic book fans, or they don't know nothing about Black Panther. Most of these motherfuckers don't know. Besides what Google told them, they Google Black Panther, and most of them don't even got it right. You know, they ain't even got their Google information all the way together. You know. Now, you know, it was some things that I was nervous about going into this movie. You know, the whole Mbatu thing / Man Ape. I was very happy they decided not to call him Man Ape in the movie. They didn't call him Man Ape in the movie. His name was not Man Ape in the movie. They went with his African name, which is Mbatu. And I'm glad they did that, because that whole Man Ape name would have been a problem. It would have been a problem. Rosewood was your shit. Yeah, Rosewood was good. Rosewood was good. I saw people giving opinions on this movie without exactly. People giving opinions on the movie and didn't even watch the motherfucker. This is what I'm saying. Like that's like these are people that are just looking to complain about the fucking movie. Like they was complaining about like if black people show interest in something, it's the world's mission to try to piss in their fucking cereal. Anytime we show interest in something, it is the world's business. It is their mission in life is to try to piss in black people's cereal. We can't enjoy shit. I got motherfuckers trying to tell people, don't watch this, don't give Disney none of your money. But these same people own Netflix. These same people who telling you don't give Disney your money own Netflix and will give Netflix money. These same people that will tell you don't give Disney money watches ESPN. They watch ABC. They watch Star Wars. They watch this. They watch. You know how much shit Disney owns? If you motherfucking Disney is damn near a fucking monopoly. It is impossible to live in this country and not give Disney some money in some form of fashion throughout the course of your life. It's impossible. Don't give Disney none of your money. Well, if that's the case, then I shouldn't go to the movies ever, because no matter what movie I watch, I am giving some white supremacist my fucking money. When you watch Birth of a Nation, guess what? White people got paid off of it. White people got paid off of it, as well as black people, but white people as well. He had white distribution for that movie. But none of you motherfuckers said don't go watch Birth of a Nation. None of you. None of you motherfuckers that are talking that shit. None of you. Do you know how much shit Disney owns? Motherfucker said don't give Disney your money. That is hilarious. That's hilarious. That's like saying don't give AT&T your fucking money. Saying don't give Disney your money is like saying don't give AT&T your fucking money. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, motherfuckers. I got motherfuckers on a white supremacist website, YouTube, telling me don't watch a white supremacist movie that's owned by Disney, which is fucking hilarious. So wait, don't watch this movie because Disney owns it and Disney's white supremacist. So don't watch. So don't watch that, but watch you on this white supremacist fucking website. Tell you not to tell me to go listen to this other, don't go watch this other white supremacist website. I'm on the white supremacist website, listening to motherfuckers telling me not to go watch a white supremacist website or movie or whatever. That's hilarious. That's hilarious when you think about it, family. And then when you ask these motherfuckers, why are you on YouTube? Well, because obviously this is where the people are at. This is where the traffic's at and everything. Ding, 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 motherfucker. Ding, 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 motherfuckers. That's where the eyes are at and that's where the traffic's at. If Black Panther was made by a black independent company, the budget wouldn't have been as high. The movie wouldn't have had the actors it had. The script wouldn't have been as good. The special effects wouldn't have been as good. None of that. This movie had a $200 million budget. Who do you know that's black who's going to fund $200 million for a Black Panther movie? I'll wait. Don't tell me Oprah because she didn't do it. She had plenty of time to do it. She got her own network. She could have done it. She didn't do it. Don't tell me P. Diddy. P. Diddy could have been did that shit. P. Diddy don't even fuck with movies. He's trying to buy a football team. He give a fuck about movies. What about 50 Cent? 50 Cent, he's in the movies. Why didn't he make the Black Panther? It's ridiculous. When you dealing in entertainment, it's impossible to get away from white supremacy. Even BET is owned by white supremacists. How do we avoid white supremacy in the entertainment field? You can't avoid white supremacy when dealing in the entertainment field. You can't. You can't, family. You can't. It sounds good when motherfuckers is talking it, but it's not realistic unless you're just willing to cut off all forms of entertainment. And if that's what you're going to do, then guess what? You have to leave YouTube too, because YouTube is also a form of white supremacist entertainment. Just look at my videos. My videos are not monetized. I have the option to monetize, but they do not allow me to monetize my videos because they say it's not suitable for advertisers. But yet, I still have commercials on my fucking videos. So who is getting paid for these commercials on my videos if it's not me? White supremacists. So if you're trying to avoid white supremacy in entertainment, then you motherfuckers better get the fuck off YouTube. Get the fuck off YouTube. Because that's also white supremacy. It's ridiculous. Crazy, family. Disney owns ABC, ESPN, they own Hulu, they own NBC Universal, they own 21st Century Fox, they own Time Warner. All these entities are owned by Disney. But y'all bitching about the Black Panther movie while you still got Time Warner Cable. You motherfuckers paying Time Warner Cable telling me to boycott fucking Disney. You boycott Disney. Get the fuck off Time Warner. You boycott Disney first. How about that? Boycott Disney first. Get your ass off fucking Time Warner. Oh no, wait. You can't get off Time Warner, right? Because within your motherfucking jurisdiction, that's the only thing you're allowed to have. It's Time Warner. And it's not realistic for me to ask you to get off the internet, right? Right. It's ridiculous, family. Fuck are we talking about here? The fuck are we talking about here? Motherfuckers talking about entertainment and white supremacy. You go to that movie, you're endorsing white supremacy. Motherfucker, every time you get on YouTube, you're endorsing white supremacy. If you want to get technical, you motherfuckers want to really get technical, let's do it. Let's not just do it Black Panther. Fuck all this. We can go. Let's go there. Let's go there. Don't just stop at Black Panther, motherfucker. Name all the shit Disney owns and boycott all of that shit. Because if you just boycotting this movie and you call yourself doing some type of motherfucking, playing some moral high ground by not watching this fucking movie because Disney owns it, then you full of shit. You full of shit, motherfuckers. You full of shit. On Time Warner Cable, owned by Disney, telling me to boycott Disney. I'm over you motherfuckers. I'm over y'all. Fuck is y'all talking about? Black cast, black director, black writers. Yes, it's owned by Disney. But they're not the only ones getting paid, motherfucker. And guess what? By us supporting this shit, that black director, those black writers, now got credentials to where they can actually get some backing to probably do their own movie. Now maybe they can probably do their own shit where they won't need Disney. It's just a process. Crazy as shit. Then you got these little self-hating Negroes who, these little indigenous Negroes. Of course, they pissed off. They triggered too. The indigenous people are triggered, family. They like, this movie's fake. It's unrealistic. They them quote-unquote unrealistic ass motherfuckers too. Them indigenous motherfuckers. We ain't no damn Africans. Wakanda is supposed to be in Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, Kansas is supposed to be Wakanda. This is not realistic. We are aboriginal to this land. We're supposed to be in Wichita, Kansas with feathers and bows and arrows and totem poles, doing rain dances. It's supposed to be called the Black Bear, not the Black Panther. It's supposed to be the Black Bear. We're going to make our own superhero called the Black Bear from Wichita, Kansas. Down with the Kaluta tribe. The Kaluta tribe in Wichita. The Black Bear. He channels his powers. Matter of fact, we ain't even going to call him the Black Bear. We ain't going to call him no damn crayon. We ain't gonna call no crayon. That kills the whole Black Bear thing. Fuck it, we'll go back to the Black Panther. No, but we can't do that. We can't call Black Panther either because that's a crayon. Fuck it, we'll call him the Crayola Cat. The Crayola Cat. We're going to create the Crayola Cat. And he's going to rock feathers and skirts, grass skirts. And they're going to do powwows. He's going to get his power from the powwow. Yo, the indigenous people are triggered, family. They triggered. The movie got them upset. They triggered. Oh, the white supremacists, they're triggered. Oh, the white supremacists, oh, they hate it. This is too much blackness for me. You know what's funny? Is the white supremacists are all comic book geeks. They're all comic book geeks. In this MCU universe, you have to watch every single movie or else you miss a chapter in this big ass fucking book. So they have to watch this movie. Just to keep up with the bigger story, they have to watch this movie. And they hate every second of it, family. They hate every minute of this shit. They are triggered. They are so triggered, family, that they got their asses on social media and started fake rumors. Started talking about Becky is getting her ass kicked at the motherfucking movie theater because black people don't want them watching it. Straight rumors, straight racist trolls, 4chan motherfuckers, Stormfront motherfuckers. We was kings ass motherfuckers. Starting up rumors. Why? Because they are triggered. They are triggered. Nothing triggers this country more than blackness. Blackness triggers this country to no end. You want to know why Donald Trump is in fucking office? Because somebody that they thought was black, who was Obama, was in office for 8 years, and they became triggered. Nobody gets more triggered than Europeans. Nobody. Whiny ass motherfuckers. They a bunch of whiny, bitching ass motherfuckers. That's what they are. Let's talk that real shit, family. Everybody gets triggered by blackness. Even black people get triggered. Them self-haters come out in droves. Motherfuckers hate to see black people embrace their blackness. Well, I ain't got nothing to do with all that, motherfuckers. I ain't got nothing to do with all that. I am unapologetically black. I am not going to apologize for loving my hue. I'm not going to apologize for loving my people. I am not going to apologize for not wanting to recreate our history and make us something other than what the fuck we are. I'm not going to apologize for that. I ain't got time for you little matrix ass motherfuckers. You blue pillars. I ain't got time for you motherfuckers. You self-hating Negroes, I ain't got time for you. Y'all motherfuckers annoy me to no fucking ends. Just annoy the shit out of me. Get y'all shit together, man. You don't want to watch the movie? Fine, don't watch the movie. The movie ain't for everybody. Honestly, I prefer the comic book lovers to watch the fucking movie any fucking way. Because most of you motherfuckers don't give a fuck about comic books, only watching it to look for fucked up shit to say. So I prefer y'all don't watch it, to be honest with you. Because y'all ain't giving a fuck because other black people give a fuck. Y'all want to watch it for the wrong fucking reason, so I prefer you don't watch it, to be honest with you. You self-haters, I prefer you don't watch it. It ain't for you, good, bye. I want to talk to motherfuckers who enjoy this shit. Motherfuckers who actually was amped up to see the movie. Motherfuckers who actually care about the fucking storyline and the character itself. I reviewed the whole movie. I reviewed the whole movie and then some. And then some. I gave you a backdrop of the character, how he began. I told the whole fucking movie. Shit. It's spoilers like a motherfucker. So yeah, if you didn't watch the movie, you might want to not rewind. It's spoilers. I warned you fuckers. Word up. Exactly. Unapologetically black. You already know. Know what I mean? But yeah, family, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end this. I've been on for a couple of hours. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I pretty much did what I had to do, said what I had to say. I appreciate everybody listening and watching. I might be on again a little bit later because it's actually something else I wanted to talk to, but I didn't want this stream to be too long. It's already went long as shit. Damn near the same time as the movie. I did watch the whole movie amount of time I motherfuckers watch talking. But yeah, shout out to everybody out in the live chat. See, Faith just came up in here. Shout out to her. Shout out to Back to Love, Nikki. What's that? Neanderthal Killer. Shout out to you. Shout out to Miss Yum Yum, of course. What's up with you, sis? Let's see. Black Power to Jade was good, Jade. Let's see. Who else up in here? Okay, whatever. Shout out to Latiga, was good with you. Shout out to Sweet Tea Black. Shout out, see, let me get a Black Power to, see, who else is up in here? Because I wasn't even all in the chat like that, family. Black Anonymous, Black Power to you. See, Afro Picks, shout out to you. Samaya was good with you, Black Power. Channel Zero, Black Power to you. Rashid, Black Power to you. Black Power to everybody that's out there listening, man. I appreciate all y'all as normal. You know what I'm saying? Again, if y'all haven't seen the movie and you're interested in watching the movie, it's worth the watch. It's worth the watch. If it was crap, I'd have came on here and told y'all it was crap because I had a lot of expectations and I really wasn't that disappointed at all. Maybe the stuff that I was disappointed with was minuscule. You understand? They took it exactly where I thought they should take it. It was a lot of nationalist propaganda, and that's what I wanted to see. So I'm satisfied. But yeah, shout out to all y'all, man. If you haven't already, please do me a favor. Click like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? I appreciate all my supporters out there. Please click the bell to be notified so you can know when I am going live. To my haters out there, please click dislike, share, and unsubscribe. All right, because I don't need you motherfuckers around here anyway. Let's see. Shout out to my supporters. Please go to the link. Hit the link for the Black Building. That's the other channel. You know what I mean? We're gonna be doing like discussion style type format discussions over there. There'll be longer hangout style joints where we chopping it up with the family. I might do something over there tonight for the people that did see the movie, so everybody can just discuss the movie in general. If you're looking to support, the PayPal link is in the description. Gotta shout out my sister Renee Black Graphics. Please hit her up on Facebook if you're looking for any designs, logos. Please hit up Renee Black Graphics. She will take care of you. She does all the flyers for the podcast. If you interested in looking at any of her work, you can see it right there. I want to give peace and Black Power out there yet again to the family. I should be on again possibly later. If again, subscribe to the Black Building just in case I'm go live over there. You won't miss it. Again, peace and Black Power. I'm out.